and gentlemen, across the Jeff Meacham Network, across the Casa D18 Studios, across some of our socials, we are here to discuss the top 10 baby faces of all time. Should be an interesting one. Should be an interesting one. Cape Rayers in the house. Quick question before you start. Does your list include wrestlers that started as heels and became baby faces? Long and the short of it is yes. What we tried to do is when we thought of the person, we thought, do we think of this person more of a heel or a face? They could have had runs as baby faces. They could have had runs as heels. But what kind of an impact did they make in those runs? Here's a great example, not on our list. Rikishi.
Yes.
When you think of Rikishi Fatu, do you think of the big dancing Samoan alongside Too Cool? Or do you think of that really horrific heel run that he had there when he did it for The Rock? He did it for the people.
Hey,
more often than not, you think of him as the big Samoan dancing with Scotty 2 Hotty and Grandmaster Sexay. So you would think of Rikishi more so as a babyface. It's a great
But he's a bad man, doing bad things, taking bad moves, or whatever the hell that song is.
I did it for The Rock.
No, he did it for his boys.
That's right.
Because even back then, they acknowledged the tribal chief, by God.
Right. Not only did he do it for The Rock, Meach, he did it for Silver Shamrock.
Turn that shit off. Don't you start, just because you're in charge of the production, don't you start. I will take it. I'm ready. People know what this means. But you need to behave yourself. They should know. I warned them.
We are here talking about baby faces, and you're wearing the NWO, a heel faction.
That means we are at war. And if you know, you know. And if you don't know, what's up?
I said, but what is it good for? Absolutely nothing.
In my case, absolutely plenty. But that's okay. We're not. And you know what, Josh? We even love you too today. You are not on the shit list today, brother. So consider yourself lucky.
Yet,
that's right.
It's only 11 a.m. here, 2 p.m. where you are, I believe. Maybe 1. I'm not sure which time zone you hit.
He being the 2.
But he's still got plenty of time to get on our shit list.
That's right. We got probably 2 hours today. Then I'm on at 4 o'clock again, Josh. Don't start with me. Big GB here, on your way back from South Carolina and WrestleCade. There you go.
See, look, he's already starting. JJ needs to behave himself. Really? Why do I need to behave myself?
Well, no, I think he's quoting me and relishing the fact that it's not him this time. And like we said, Josh, yet.
Stat Boy in the heezy fo sheezy.
And we'd like to thank Statboy for his contribution to the show, which we will get to later. No spoilers in the chat room there, Statboy.
Yes. All right.
It's going to be a good one. We actually didn't take too long to debate this. Full disclosure. Did it last night.
Yeah, we did it. We did it yesterday afternoon. We did it prior to the review.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
We did it prior to the review. I hit Jeff up and I was like, what's going on with you right now? Have you got some time so we can discuss this? Because we were talking on Thursday or Friday.
Yes.
And it was like he had completely brain farted on the fact that we had a day.
Oh, we did. 100%. Been a long week.
And so it was like, well, we need to figure out a list. And at that point I had 3 names. I had 4. 3 made the list.
Yes.
The one that I had that we ended up taking off the list, we'll go ahead and throw it out there, as an honorable mention, even though we don't have an image of the person. I got rid of the image.
Yeah,
Roxanne
yeah,
was.
yeah, yeah.
But, you know, Jeff convinced me she's still in NXT. She's still an upstart. She hasn't even made the main roster yet. So I can get behind why we took her off the list. But I had 4 at the time, 3 made the list, and then it was just like, okay, we need to discuss these. We need to get some of these people going, and
Absolutely.
it did flow pretty easily.
Yeah.
We
Wasn't a whole lot of
were about 9.
Yeah.
And then Jeff tried to sell me on one, which it's going to be our first honorable mention here. So let me get this last comment. There may be a little bit of a lag on you guys' comments getting put up, so forgive me. I'm running the booth tonight, so I got to do images.
Yes.
And so I got to bounce back and forth here. So please be patient with me.
I'm running on data, kids. I apologize.
Jeff tried to sell me on our first honorable mention, which is none other than Rob Van Dam.
Damn, that's right.
And I thought about him for a minute because we really wanted to get somebody from ECW in there. We wanted to try to go outside of the WWE/WCW/Crockett.
Yes.
And Jeff tried to sell me on RVD, and I was like, RVD is a solid entry. And I mean, we've both got history with Rob.
I mean, look at that.
There's a young Renegade, a young stat boy with the crew that we called the Enterprise back in the day.
My goodness.
Those of you that watched the original Renegades may remember the lady killer Ray Larkin, pictured there in the Evolution shirt.
Yes.
The guy in the Hurricane get-up was one of our buddies at the time, Chris. And then the young man in the NWO shirt, Juan, unfortunately no longer with us. He passed away quite a few years ago.
Yeah.
Close to a decade ago, possibly even longer than that. It's probably going more on like 15 years ago. He passed away.
Yeah.
But,
great old school job, man. I love that.
Got the history. Then, of course, there's the Meacham bunch. The Meacham bunch.
Oh, yeah. To this day, still no picture with me holding Rob's damn belt. Dylan has one. His damn mother has one, but not me. But I love that picture. And that's actually take 2. Take 1 in the archives still, because we all started giggling. Rob threw his hands up in like frustration / laughter, and then we finally got to go. And this is at Frankensons. Yeah. So it was at
the comic store, dude, in the middle of the Lakewood Mall. Like that was that was home base.
The OG location. Oh yeah.
But
I remember.
But Jeff was trying to sell me on Rob, and I was like, I got a better one for you for ECW. And he's like, he pulled a New Day on me. He's like, who? So our official number 10 is none other than the innovator of violence, Tommy Dreamer.
Yes.
Because this man never wavered.
Never.
He was pretty much always a good guy. Rob came into ECW and he was a heel. He was the guy that was more or less brought in by Jerry Lawler to kind of take out ECW. Lawler aligned himself with Rob and Sabu. How Rob became Mr. Monday Night.
Yeah, it's a great story. He was there for a year, and was left off the first pay-per-view, and he went, all right, well, if you're going to be that way about it, then I'll just be that guy. And it was an organic. Rob never really changed his approach, his attitude, whatever you want to call it. People just grafted onto him instead. And that's how he was, turned babyface, I guess, by default. Whereas, like you said, Tommy he had to earn the hardcore blood stripes to get the babyface turn. But, green suspenders, Tommy, not so much.
There were 2 sentences that really begin to get him those stripes. Thank you, sir. Can I have another?
Yep. Oh.
And I'm with you, Cape Rayer. A lot of places in the East and the Northeast had the syndicated ECW show. We didn't get it out here in Cali until it was on TNN, the Nashville network, which then became the National Network, which then became Spike TV. So
Yes.
I didn't get ECW until the 99 deal. You watch the My Name is Paul Heyman documentary, you watch the Rise and Fall of ECW. I remember that promo airing when Paul Lee was like up here in the camera talking about, since this episode is finally going to make air, or maybe it isn't. It's like, man, I remember that.
Oh, yeah.
Because the way they were screwing ECW over.
But, Tommy Dreamer is one of the primary reasons that ECW made it long enough to get onto TNN.
Mm-hmm.
If we're being honest, he was more babyface behind the scenes than he was on screen, and that's saying something.
Yeah.
For being honest.
Once they got on TNN, we used to watch the pay-per-views every month, and we would tape them. I had a bunch of VHSs.
Oh, yeah.
If you go to the Peacock network, and I'm not trying to rub this in, calm down. If you go to the Peacock network and you look up Heatwave 2000, no, you can't see me. I'm not John Cena there. You can't see me. But Statboy and I were both there for that show.
Yep.
At the Grand Olympic Auditorium in Los Angeles, California. So it was always kind of cool to get to be around ECW and to get to watch ECW. And you want to talk about Tommy Dreamer as a babyface. SummerSlam 2009.
Yes.
That is Natalie wearing her John Cena chain gang onesie.
Oh my God.
With her mom getting kissy faces made to her by Tommy Dreamer. And even the hurricane kind of hovering over the background, like trying to get into it. You can see this footage on the SummerSlam 09 show.
Oh, yeah.
On the Peacock.
Yep.
As soon as they're done with the Christian William Regal ECW title match, they go to the Superstars in LA for access and everything. And that is where that clip comes from. Yep. We've got our own still images of it, but the kissy face isn't being made there.
No.
But there you can see like the real interaction and everything. It's awesome. And I would be using my own image with Tommy, but number one, how can you deny that?
Right.
And number two, it's from the same moment, and he's kind of looking down, like he's signing for the next person. So you only really get to see Hurricane in the image.
Yes.
So I kind of was bummed by that one.
Yeah. And Mikey's comment there, that is, to this day, that's on the same level as, us getting interacted with John in Vegas and, all the crazy stuff happened. Like, that was just such a beautiful moment captured on WWE cameras. Just amazing.
I disagree with Mansfield here because Tommy was the guy who never wanted to be champion.
Well, yeah.
The only time he won championships in the original ECW was when people left. Dudley's left, him and Raven became champion. Freaking Awesome did what he did. It got dropped to Taz. Taz dropped it to Tommy because Taz was already WWE contracted. Tommy immediately lost it to Credible. Even in WWE, it was okay.
Yeah.
He didn't really want it.
Yeah.
So I disagree with you on that aspect of it, Josh, but
the WWE story made for a beautiful story. The ECW original getting the title back. The only other ECW original that I know that actually won the championship was Rob, and he was awarded it. To be fair, so
sure.
And yeah, ECW Hate Wave is where you all first saw Joey Chaos, albeit for the wrong reasons. I'm just glad the majority of those folks that were involved have some positive reputation left, unlike the current re-owner of XPW. But we're not here to talk about that heel. We're talking about Babyfaces today. Oh, Lordy. Anyway.
And Drew brings up an interesting comment here. Good point about WWE, ECW. You guys are right. Kofi Kingston is not an ECW original.
Well,
and it's funny that you should mention that, because coming in at number 9 on our list is Kofi Kingston.
Yes. Oh, God. Freaking Jamaican era Kofi Kingston in that picture.
I wanted to find this era of Kofi for a very specific reason.
Yes.
Because this is the Kofi era that made Dylan fall in love with Kofi.
Oh, God, look how little they got between the picture of Natalie and this one. Oh, my, I'm going to cry here. This is where the dad's part of the Death of Wrestling kicks in.
Because everyone needs to remember that Dylan was ride or die with Kofi until Baron Corbin.
Yep.
And it was this era of Kofi that he really gravitated towards, man.
It was.
The SOS.
Yep.
The whole thing, the Jamaican accent, the jumpsuit. That's what he gravitated towards.
Yep.
And then freaking DX, aren't you supposed to be Jamaican?
And not to ever take away credit for Baron Corbin, because I love me some Corbin. It was Kofi forming the New Day that turned Dylan off. It was like, I'm good. The preaching stuff ain't working for me, Dad. Little did we know that even Baron Corbin himself would apologize for that shit.
And then, of course,
things ever.
Natalie, so shy.
Oh, man.
Not wanting any part of Kofi.
Yeah.
Man, that was our summer. That was the summer of Punk.
Yep.
We went to Access that year. You can see I'm wearing my new Nexus shirt with the Punk Fist and Lightning Bolt.
Yep.
She's wearing I-Star Colt Cabana with the Jewish star.
Yep.
Jeff is wearing my Kings of Wrestling shirt, Kings Reign Supreme.
Yes.
It's like we were all CM Punked out, which ironic we're doing this list today and seeing those images, considering who's going to be on Raw tonight.
Yeah, and if you read the comment room, hour one's commercial free. Like the comment says, we in it now, folks. This is gonna be a good day. Ooh, we talked about women inclusion in this episode, and it was hard because I mentioned, for those of you listening only, not watching, if you're like driving or whatever, Cape Raiders number 9 was Alundra Blaze / Medusa. We talked about women, and the thing with it is unfortunately, it's only really now in this women's evolution era that their status as babyface or heels is really becoming a vital or interactive part of the presentation, especially in WWE. Whereas in Alundra's era, Medusa's era, to be honest, I'll always hold Deuce higher in regard as the heel member of the Dangerous Alliance, the ballet for Rick Rude, I forget what title Paul gave her. Forgive me, Deuce, if you're watching. God help me if you're watching. And the only other one I really considered on we talked a lot about Joni. She's an honorable mention, China. definitely. I also mentioned Miss Elizabeth because other than NWO, I mean, God, pure as driven Snow babyface. You might as well have her play Snow White in the movie, for Christ's sakes. But yeah, it's unfortunately the women never really got the storyline importance labeled attached to their babyface or heel turns, and it sucks. Got to see a whole lot of the women presentation.
That was weird. You like popped out for a second, and I didn't
So
even get it because I was doing the comments.
Oh, well, yeah, I saw it happen on screen there a second ago, and okay, there we go. I'm moving now. Okay, yeah, what I was just it's just unfortunate that the women's statuses on screen, other than China, really never got a whole lot of like oh wow moments until very recently. So
yeah, that's fair.
And by the way, Drew Robinson in there. Good to see you commenting along, brother. I haven't heard from you in a while, so it's good to see you. Hope all is well. We'll have to talk off air today. Good to see you, dude.
Number 8 is a legend, and it might be a little bit controversial take because most people know him as the rival to Hulk Hogan, especially in the early WWF days.
Yep.
But from about WrestleMania 3 until really, what was it, 0203? When he was doing the Mr. America angle with Sean O'Hare.
Yeah, there was that.
Like that was a little heel blip on the radar, but
yeah,
pretty much after like WrestleMania 3, he was a babyface, a known babyface.
Yes.
And that is the Hot Rod.
Roddy Piper. You love it.
A lot of people are probably going to be like, well, why is he so low? Some people, again, may be confused why he's on the list. But when I think of Roddy, I think of a babyface.
Yep.
Because even though he was a major Hogan rival, and you could argue that WrestleMania was a success because the Garden sold out to watch Hulk Hogan and Mr. T beat the shit out of Roddy Piper and Paul Orndorff.
Yes.
It was an afterthought, if we're being real.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah.
You know, I always think of Good Guy Piper. I just do. And maybe it's personal connection with the Hot Rod.
I mean,
or again, being able to meet him 3 times over the years.
Yep.
But I think of Piper best as a good guy.
You know, it's good to see you in that picture with Roddy, rocking a Christian Cage shirt, recognizing the father of the year material that Christian Cage is, by God.
Hey, if I still had the image loaded in here, man, I trusted my daughter with Christian Cage.
We both trusted our children with Christian Cage. Shame on people that doubt the sincerity of the hell, what's that damn name? Adam ripped on Sarah. I forgot the name of the anyway.
See, this is what I was afraid of. A lot of people think of Piper more of a heel as a babyface because he was so good at his heeldom. But if you really think about his WWF run, he was a face more than he was a heel.
And also think about when both of us started watching wrestling on the regular. You in 98, where he was fully entrenched in the battle against the NWO, especially Hogan at that point. When I started watching in 1990, it was right after he finished beefing with Rick Rude and was going into the program with DiBiase that ultimately turned Virgil into a babyface. We don't talk about that because the hell with Virgil. But anyway, you know, Roddy
Virgil
was a babyface.
Worse than Bruno's status.
Damn. But one of my earliest memories as a fan was Roddy on commentary for the $1 Million Belt match, and his just passion for his buddy to overcome the evil Ted DiBiase. And you mentioned Bruno status.
Yes.
There's honorable mention in here, and he's only an honorable mention not because of how, let's be honest, godlike this dude was in the early days of the WWF, but we never saw him work. And the reason we use this picture, this is how over Bruno Sammartino was for his entire life in wrestling. This kid's nickname is Bruno, and Bruno Mars is one of the biggest stars in the world. I think we both agree on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's Bruno Mars fairly recently, or toward the end of Bruno's life, because that was after they got Bruno's belt back from the WWF. So JJ and I kind of went back and forth on it. I was going to bring both Bruno and Lou Thesz up, but it's like, I never heard a bad thing about Bruno from the God. I mean, there you go. There's the garden reactions to both title wins for Bruno. That's awesome, man. Just the guy was there was a reason Bruno was called a quote unquote god in the garden, because he was. And I would be remiss if we didn't say the top 10. And Bob Backlund was brought up earlier too. There's another guy that up until 93, 94, freaking, he was called Howdy Doody for a reason. So, yeah, Bruno, Backlund, those guys definitely get a nod. They just don't make our list because, we didn't grow up watching them. And Drew's comments hysterically. Make sure you get to that before we go to the next one, because that's funnier than shit. I'm sure Don Callis would take great credit for that. I'm sure he would. He probably credited himself for that, no doubt.
Absolutely.
I thought about Andre too, to be honest with you. Good call, Matthew. Anyway,
next on our list is another legend.
Yes,
but he's more of a hardcore legend.
Ah, yes.
The Mick Foley.
I love it.
Not Cactus Jack.
No.
Not Dude Love.
Yep.
Not Mankind.
Yep.
All three of those personas had very memorable heel runs. We're talking about good old Mick Foley.
Yes.
The lovable Muppet, if you will.
Which makes your photo with him ironic.
It really does, because this was the night that he turned heel on Tommy Dreamer at the Arrowhead Pond / Honda Center.
Yes.
And I got him going into the arena.
Oh, you got him going in. Wow.
Technical Wizard Joey Ryan t-shirt.
Wow.
And my undisputed championship belt, which he signed for me, by the way.
Nice. Very nice. That's awesome. You wear a Joey Ryan shirt.
There's the Meacham family.
Da-da-da-da. Yes, that's at the Ice House in Pasadena. The most recent time I saw Mick in person, he had just signed St. Mick, I guess. Why I'm displayed it in the picture. He actually just signed that for me. So got them all right here, actually. So I love Mick Foley. It's again, the lovable Muppet. Granted, Cactus Jack, evil son bitch at times, but you catch Cactus Jack in the WWF, babyface, going against Triple H, going against the McMahons, fighting that fight. Dude Love, the Dude Love story was babyface, no doubt about it. But I prefer heel Dude Love than WWF. I'm going to be 100% honest. Great run with Austin. And then Mankind, again, I love both versions of Mankind, but I think babyface Mankind saved Mick's career, for being honest. At least prolonged it for a couple more years. They were on those terrible knees of his. I was just gonna say, the irony of you wearing a Joey Ryan t-shirt in the show about babyfaces is not lost on me in the picture with Mick, considering he turned heel that night. I think it's your fault he turned heel. Drove into madness wearing that damn Joey Ryan t-shirt.
You know what?
Hey,
say
really
what you will about Joey, and I know you will. Things were not going around about Joey at that point.
No, that's true.
Joey
That's
very
very true.
much was still in his technical wizard era. He hadn't even started to become the Magnum Joey yet, I don't think. Maybe he had just made the transition.
Or when he became,
I don't think the Joey Knows Best shirt was out yet.
that definitely wasn't out yet. No.
So that was still like the most recent Joey shirt. And it was long after the Joey Knows Best and the Dynasty that suggestive era of Joey Ryan really began.
That's
So
fair. That's fair. That's fair.
Give
Okay.
me a little bit of slack, Meacham.
Okay, fine. And no, his photo's not Photoshop with Mick, because there's a great picture, he's not on this list, of JJ with the Big Show later that night. And Big Show was like full on ECW Big Show, where he's like as wide as he is tall. And he's got a big old hug around JJ. Definitely not a Photoshop night.
No. But she says in her comments she knows that it isn't.
Right.
Like
just,
she's seen the people that we've met before, so she knows it's not Photoshopped. Like, why would I make that up? But yeah, I can totally see where she's coming from. Because it does look like it could kind of be Photoshopped.
No, it definitely does.
Definitely not.
I just love that picture of you and Big Show with that belt so much. I just had to bring it up because it's a great shot, because he's just so damn big. It's like, hi. He was a big bad man then too.
Oh yeah.
Lord knows. Oh, good stuff. Good times.
Going into our number 6, to the halfway point, if you will. We talk about Foley.
Yes.
And we talked about the 3 faces of Foley.
Yes.
This is going to be the first of 2 images where we have 3 images in an image for a person because of all the different eras. And me and Jeff kind of did the math, and with the for a 30-year run in the company, he was maybe heel 2 of those years, 3 tops.
Maybe, yeah.
The Undertaker.
Yeah. Think about that. First year and a half, roughly. Late 98 to summer 99, we'll say. And then Big Evil for, we'll call it the first half of 02. So yeah, 3 years tops in a 30-year run. Granted, he was off quite a bit with injury and whatnot, but how can you,
a man like he is, going full tilt the way he did, you're going to have some time off for injury.
Exactly.
But again, he was off for injury for maybe about as much time of his career as he was heel.
Right.
So in a 60-year career, a 30-year career. I knew what I was trying to say. In a 30-year career, he was heel or injured for 6 of those years. 24 then is still as a babyface.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah. When 1/5 of your career only is not a babyface, that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. That is a long damn time to be a consistent fan favorite, we'll call it at that point, because they didn't use the term babyface heel a lot back then, but he was most definitely more of a fan favorite than a quote unquote rule breaker or somebody the fans jeered on the regular.
And you want to talk about being a fan favorite?
Oh, one of my favorite things ever. I've been a fan for 33 years this year. I've been doing this podcasting gig for over 21 years. This is in my top 5 favorite things I've ever done on either side. Maybe even top 3, if we're being 100% honest. And it's just so friggin' cool for me that I was able to pull this off. And I am forever grateful to Fighterman Sports Group, to WWE for having Mania come out here. And just all of it. It was very cool. And when we get to the other entry, I want to talk about heavily as far as my favorites. I'll explain why I'm stuttering, but there was some math done and it blew my mind. We'll go from there. But I love it, man. Undertaker's. It's very hard to argue he's not the greatest WWE superstar of all time.
Agreed.
I mean, just longevity, fan support, even championship acclaim. He's up there in that echelon too.
Absolutely. All right, so we're at the halfway point of the list. Before we get to number 5, we're going to take a quick 40-second break, and we're going to show you guys all the watch-alongs that are coming up across the multiverse, beginning with tributes to the troops and going all the way through to the Bash in Berlin that we know about. Be back in a few.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
All the wrestling, all the wrestling, all the wrestling, all the professional wrestling and sports entertainment.
Yes. Noah's not here. We have to do something. He's not wrong there with Purse. And, that was a Bruce call. Do you want to stay in the office or do you want to go on the road? Thank God he chose the latter. Or the former, because we got Percy Pringle as Paul Bearer.
Drew seems to be digging the Limp Bizkit there.
As you should, because we can get some. As long as we can keep playing it, we're going to do it, by God.
The fact that isn't getting copyright pinged, but that little freaking jingle that I had in the Disney videos is getting like, what the hell?
That is some ass chapping material right there, because that's a great song to put as a backdrop for Disney, and it's like, God damn it. Anyway. Frustrating as hell. But anyway.
So, again, we talked about the 3 faces of Foley.
We did.
Showed the Undertaker with 3 images highlighting stages of his career. Number 5 is no exception. We just have to cross from New York down to Georgia and Steen. I mean, the Steiner, and there you go. You got the Surfer, you've got the Crow, you've got the more modern TNA version. Not quite Joker. I wish that third one had been Joker Steen.
Right.
But still, like, Steve Borden, the Steiner.
Yep.
Well, one of the ones that I regret not having a picture with, because I have met him twice.
Yep.
And I just don't have a picture with him. So.
Yes. I'm such a fan, and yes, I got to meet him at my workplace many years ago. I'm such a fan that in the folder over here, I actually typed it out as Sting, just to be funny. I love this man. And other than when he first, and I mean first started out, and then briefly in 1999, solid babyface across the board. Yes, you can argue that he was a tweener when he first became the Crow, but let's be real. The end result was going to be the end result. We knew he would do the right thing and go against the NWO and go against Hogan. Just unfortunately, he showed up with not quite enough of a tan. Because to be the man, you must be tan. So, but still, arguably, and there's not even an argument. WCW's biggest babyface ever. Holds the record, to my knowledge, to this day, of most wins of the Pro Wrestling Illustrated Most Popular Wrestler Award with somebody that's going to come up later. Pretty sure they still hold that record together.
Yep. Trying to get through these comments here before.
No, you're good, brother. You are good, man. You're good. And yeah, Sting, as far as I remember, Sting was the only member of the Wolf Pack that was never actually a heel in any other version of the NWO. Conan was, Savage was, Nash was, Luger became, Elizabeth turned heel, Kurt Hennig and Rick Rude were never really in the Wolf Pack fully enough to, call it. Josh, I'm not Aaron. I actually enjoy Pro Wrestling Illustrated. Anyway. Here we go.
Coming to number 4, you talked about being the biggest babyface in WCW.
Just,
I have a feeling that number 4 was the biggest babyface in the precursor to WCW. And that was the Crockett era. A common man whose family lineage still runs deep today, as there is more than one royal family. The American dream, Dusty Rhodes, baby.
I love you chose this picture, by the way, because this was the ultimate Dusty babyface moment. Hard times had fallen on Dusty Rhodes' family because of Ric Flair. There's no honor among thieves if anymore. Just love Dusty. Oh, miss that man so much.
Agreed. And I mean,
there's a lot to unpack in this picture, but I love it.
I know, for real. We talked about that off the air, so I knew it was going to come up. I mean, let's take a minute here, okay? There's the NWA Championship belt. There's the Hot Rod T-shirt. There's the TNA Impact lanyard and the Word Life hat. God damn if I'm not a confused motherfucker in this picture.
And the irony of all of it is, and I realize this now as we're bringing it up, we had another honorable mention that we didn't get a graphic for, and we both have a picture with him as far as I know, but it's the one whose signature he's next to on this championship belt, AJ Styles. Because it was a good belt.
That'll forever be a great story,
Yes.
That NWA title that's the title that I missed the most. I mean, yes, I have another NWA replica over here. Thank you to the Meacham.
Yes.
But at one point, that belt was signed by close to a dozen former NWA champions.
Yes.
Dusty was the second name to get put on that belt.
Yes.
Behind AJ, who I only had gotten first because of Pro Wrestling Guerrilla.
Yep.
And I tell the story all the time. I will tell it again. I lay the belt down in front of Dusty for him to sign, and he sees the signature there, and he points at it, and he's like, and I automatically flash back to Paul Heyman telling the story about him being in the production meeting, because it's very similar of a story in the way that he conducted himself towards me. He looks at the signature and he points at it, and he's like, whose signature is this right here? I said, well, that's AJ Styles, sir. He's like, that's a good one to have.
Like, no matter what Dusty's saying, he's always geniusing. He's geniusing.
Like, God damn it, Dusty. But for real, like, and it's so fresh in my mind because I was watching the Heyman doc last night.
Yeah.
After the review on the heels of Punk's return at Survivor Series, I watched CM Punk Best in the World on Peacock,
Yeah.
and then lost you again. And then I went to the My Name is Paul Heyman doc. And hearing before I cut it off, Paul tell the story of him sneaking into the production meeting with Dusty Rhodes and like, what are you doing here?
Came to learn from you. It's a very good choice because I'm a genius, baby. I am a super genius. Take a seat in the back. Damn it.
But seriously, and then how
Oh,
over the weeks he would move closer and closer to Dusty because he was gaining that rapport with him. It's like, dude, what? Such a great man.
There's a reason the man's screen name is Heyman Hustle. All right. I'm just saying. He went from hustling into the garden before this. He may not be a babyface on this list, but by God, he's my hero. Damn it. But I love Dusty, and he needs to be on here. One of the best baby, and he started that, remember, as a monster heel with Murdoch. Talk about heels that became babyfaces, vice versa. Jesus Christ, he and Dirty Dick Murdoch were the true heels, man. They tore up the territory for real. They were crazy. The Texas Outlaws, man. It's never met him in person. One of my definitely one of my favorite interviews, and definitely one of the interviews that really got No DQ Media on the map, if you will.
That's fair.
One of the reasons I'm sitting here.
And I mean, while Dusty was ruling Crockett, back up north, it's hard to argue that there was a bigger baby face than Hulk Hogan.
Oh,
And I know a lot of people are probably shocked that he's at number 3.
yeah.
There are 2 people that we deemed as bigger baby faces of all time than the immortal Hulk Hogan.
Sit down, Drew. We're not done. Sit down.
Because at the end of the day, Hulk Hogan at number 1 didn't work for me, brother.
And it didn't even work for me, which is scary. But, at the end of the day, Hogan wavered.
He did.
More than once. Right, TNA? Right, WWE 2002?
Mm-hmm.
And especially
even
WCW.
if you just count his WWFE run, when he came back as part of the poison that was designed to destroy the WWE from within. Granted, fans didn't respond the way they were hoping that they would for him because Hulk Hogan was back in the WWF.
Yes.
But he was designed to be that lethal dose of poison that put the WWF to sleep. And it didn't work.
It didn't work for them, brother.
So for that month from No Way Out till Mania, he was still a heel in WWE, even though the fans were kind of responding more positively. He was supposed to be a heel.
Exactly. I will only say to that comment, in the time that Hogan was the top babyface in the world, the stories of the politics weren't as prolific as they have become in the last 2 decades.
And that's a very fair assessment. What does Eric Bischoff say? Context is key. Back in the 80s and even into the 90s, hell, back into the early 2000s, the internet was not as prolific as it is today.
No.
We did not know about the politics of Hogan until people started releasing autobiographies.
True.
And then the internet age really kicked into gear. The
I would
dirt
say
sheets may have reported some of it, but at that point in time, the dirt sheets, hell, just like today, the dirt sheets were never looked at as the New York Times, the LA Times. The dirt sheets were called the dirt sheets because they were where you got the dirt, the rumors. They were the National Enquirer. They
right.
were the Star. They
Yep.
were the TMZ on paper before TMZ became a more respected name than it used to be.
Right.
You know, to where TMZ is now more of like an Entertainment Tonight than it is a dirt sheet.
For sure.
You know? So even if you read it in a dirt sheet back in the day, how true was it really?
And Jay, at the end of the day, when it comes to dirt sheets, how right were they 2 days ago?
They weren't. The dirt sheets 2 days ago were about as right as Josh Mansfield. And, buddy, just so you know, I have no heat with you. I'm just enjoying giving you shit about Punk being back since you said it would never happen. My man came to me asking that you were concerned what was wrong with me. I've got no problem with you, brother. I am just relishing in the fact that I can give you massive amounts of shit for this right now.
You know what we'll do, JJ? Tell you what we'll do. Tomorrow on Savoy Sports Bar, because she's such a popular topic on that show, we will dedicate a Taylor Swift song to the return of CM Punk. Because unlike CM Punk and WWE, Taylor Swift and her boyfriend are never, ever, ever getting back together.
There we go. And now we come to number 2. Coming in at number 2 is another one that may surprise people that he is not number 1. Yes, Jeff, I see your hand going up. What?
You didn't put the picture of me and Hulk up.
Oh.
Thank you. Had to edit it because the picture we took at Barnes & Noble, there's so many people looking like a bunch of goobers in the picture. And I can only be the one that has a goober in the picture, by God. There you go.
Number 2, as I was saying,
yes,
is another man that people are going to be surprised that he is where he is.
Yes.
He's a soldier. He's a doctor.
Yes.
He is he who cannot be seen.
But yet there he is.
He is John Cena.
Sorry, I'm going. Sorry.
John Cena is number 2.
Waiting for the comment room to explode.
Right? For real.
Oh, the comments. Oh, no. Here we go.
We knew Emmanuel was going to give the hate.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
If I would have put money on this one, I would have lost this time, unlike the CM Punk bet that he won.
Josh, okay. All right, Josh. Okay. All right.
Cena in silver medal spot, LOL.
Well, you know.
See my earlier comment thinking he was number 1.
No, actually, folks, and as JJ digs out the picture of John Cena that we are going to share, believe it or not, number 1 was already mentioned in the comments earlier today.
Yes. We'll
I saw it.
Second though, we
yes,
we still have to wax proxy on John.
Well, we do because, like I said, Hogan wavered. Once John made that turn in 2003, despite his objections, he never turned again. Except that one heel turn on Raw that one time that Aaron brought up and threw in my face yesterday, which is funnier than hell. But, anyway. He never actually executed the heel turn that we all talked about, the one that Roman Reigns actually finally did. John has never wavered in 20 years. We talked about Undertaker having, basically 24 on-screen years of being a babyface. Those had interruptions. Every time John has come back, whether you've sung his song along with him or you've sung his song at him, he has never wavered. Bray Wyatt couldn't get him to break, except in the Funhouse. But that's in John's own mind, so that doesn't count.
And that's not to say that he didn't want to.
Oh no! Like I said, despite his objections,
he wanted to.
Oh God, did he?
He wasn't allowed to.
Yeah. I think we all wanted him to turn heel in that damn green shirt at WrestleMania 2012 just because he hated it as much as we did.
Cape Rare, if you were thinking that our number one is who I think you were thinking our number one is, number one, you're wrong. And number two, he was an anti-hero more than he was a babyface.
Oh, okay, then yeah, no.
He is thinking not of a viper, but of a rattlesnake.
True. Very true.
And Austin was an anti-hero, not really a babyface.
Yeah. And for another reason Hogan was lower than number one, he was a dirty-ass babyface. Back raking, stomping on hands, stomping on, raking the eyes, going out and beating the guy up with the belt after he won because Hogan must pose, pal. He was Santa Claus in Rudolph movie. Hogan was a dick.
I believe you started this comment of Josh's, if you would like to address it real quick.
I didn't start. I actually haven't started anything. At least not on purpose. Seem to be the only one at the same level, being a heel in his career. Not it's a spoiled, likely headliner of this list, knowing that. Oh, I'm not sure what he's asking, honestly.
We were talking about the amount of time that Undertaker spent as a babyface.
Oh,
and I
okay,
think
yeah.
He's asking, did Cena spend about the same amount of time?
Ratio-wise,
Cena has only been there for 21 years.
Yeah. Yeah, ratio-wise, John's been a babyface longer than Undertaker was. Ratio-wise. But no, he wasn't number one, though. But yeah, Taker, definitely. It's what, like I said, every time John's come back, he's whether we've jeered or cheered him out of the arena, he's still not wavered. I'm loving the comments come in, and I did mention that the number one was mentioned earlier, and nobody else is saying it.
This is a hot take because we didn't even discuss Rey Mysterio.
But he did go heel, though.
Yes and no. I mean, I look at Rey Mysterio turning heel on the Filthy Animals like Rob Van Dam in The Alliance. He was supposed to be heel, but everybody loved Rey. He wasn't a heel in the Filthy Animals.
Yeah.
He was so babyface in the Filthy Animals. The Filthy Animals had to turn fucking babyface.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Rey was babyface because he looked like a baby with his mask off. He looked like he was 12 years old.
For real. And Mansfield here, are you really making it The Rock, even with Hollywood Rock? No.
He was discussed.
The Rock.
He was discussed, but JJ pointed out
Number one is Santino Marella.
No, damn it. Fucking Drew spoiled it.
Nope, but Bret Hart is definitely an honorable mention. But Matthew has figured it out. Number one is Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Yep.
The man never turned heel.
Ever.
the consummate babyface, much like Tommy Dreamer in the Land of Extreme.
Yep.
But again, within the confines of the Alliance, technically he was supposed to be heel, but he wasn't really a heel, kind of like Rob Van Dam, because everybody loved Tommy Dreamer.
Yeah.
But number one is Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Yeah.
And I know that's a hot take. I'm waiting to see the comments come and just start flaming me right now.
Yeah. You know what, though? Like I said, Kate Brayer had him at number 3 babyface all time. So good to see Kate Brayer was on the same wavelength. But good catch by Matthew once we got through the list. And there it is. We thank Statboy for his contribution to today's show because neither one of us have a picture. I've met Ricky, but I don't have a picture with him.
I've never met Ricky.
Yeah, and not only does Mikey have a picture with Ricky, he's got a picture with Ricky with the red logo Intercontinental title, which is badass.
What do you mean, Mansfield? You're going to try and hear us out?
Yeah, remember they're watching on a delay from us being live, so he's probably hearing the comments come in after we're saying them. There's a significant delay between live and
about a 10-second to 15-second delay. It's not that big of a delay.
Depends if he started watching on time. To be fair,
this is fair. But if he's commenting along about Ricky Steamboat, then he's at least
with us. Yeah.
I will tell you what, Mansfield, if you really want to dispute this with us, I will shoot you the live link real quick and bring you on screen, and we can discuss this calmly. We can discuss this calmly. I will not ridicule you. You will not ridicule me. We will discuss this as civil men. If you really want to try and dispute this with us. But the man was a babyface in every company he worked for, and he never turned heel. Did he have the marketing and drawing power of Cena, of Hogan? No.
Nobody was going to. Yeah.
But much like Dusty Rhodes, he was the working man. He was the common man. He was the workhorse.
Yep.
He was the guy that you could go out there and throw in a main event spot and freaking just know you were going to get a great match out of him for anybody. Ricky Steamboat could wrestle a freaking mop, and the mop would get a Hall of Fame induction because of his match against Ricky Steamboat.
Well, I mean, Moppy might anyway because, Moppy's awesome. You're welcome. Put it this way. You mentioned he's a workhorse. There's a reason he was the WWF Intercontinental Champion, not the World Champion. There's a reason he was every champion in the NWA WCW. Because they were the workhorse wrestling company. They weren't sports entertainment. They were wrestling.
Yeah.
He was world champion. He was U.S. champion. He was, sorry.
This right here is one of the main reasons why he's number one.
Yep.
And some will dispute that because of the Undertaker Shawn Michaels series. There have been definitely, I'll say in the last 15 years, there have been some matches that have put this in some serious contention.
Yep.
But when you figure that for 25 of going on 40 years of WrestleManias, this was considered the greatest match of all time in WrestleMania history.
Yep.
And I get that, Josh. The lack of marketing, name power, title length, reign, and was your only critique. That's not what makes a babyface. That's not what makes a babyface. There have been babyfaces that have never been world champions.
I will say this about Josh's comment. We talked about Ricky and Randy at WrestleMania. People have argued for years that the technical wizardry, to bring it back to Joey here, of that match stole the show from Hogan and Andre. I think the drama did just as much. Yes, Andre turning heel in 1987 and going against Hogan made WrestleMania 3 what it was and cemented Hulkamania as the most powerful force in the universe in wrestling. Randy Savage tried to end a man's career. Randy Savage tried to end a man's ability to speak and communicate with his wife and his family and his fans.
Mm-hmm. Ricky Steamboat was such a great babyface that when he came back to take part in that Legends match against Jericho and then got the match at Backlash the month after, just one-on-one, Ricky Steamboat in the ring looked like it was fucking 1987.
Ricky Steamboat made us believe again. He did, man. I was, again, in 1994, I was full on Hulk and WCW. I'm a WCW guy. I was like, as much as a 11-year-old boy can be sad about something, I was just crestfallen that Ricky had to retire. Because I love the Dragon, man. And for 15 years, I had to, sit on that, and it was awful. But him coming back for that WrestleMania program with Jericho and Mickey Rourke and everything, and then him getting the shot at Jericho one-on-one, I was made a believer, by God.
Mm-hmm. And I'm a little bit bummed that we didn't get more of him out of that.
No, I agree.
The whole thing with Bret Hart winning the U.S. title, as kind of a feel-good moment as that was,
yeah,
I would rather if that had been Ricky.
Yeah, I would have rather
just from pay-per-view to pay-per-view.
Yep.
I would have liked for that to have been Ricky.
I would have rather have been Ricky winning the Intercontinental at that, because he lost the Intercontinental title because of his wanting to take time and, be with the kiddo. And it was
a priority, Josh, just like you watching Mary Poppins. Go back and watch the one-on-one at Backlash.
I won't quiz you on it. Just friggin' do it. Shit.
But yeah, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat is the consummate babyface. He was the blueprint that Tommy Dreamer picked up and ran with when it came to ECW.
It was the reason we bookended the list like we did.
Yep.
And yes, Walter.
Talk about across the multiverse of media, Jeff? Long-term story telling.
There you go. And yes, Walter, I agree. Steamboat, because at the end of the day, unless you work for the company, there is no bigger babyface than Mickey Mouse. So there you go. Steamboat, it's all babyface. Don't even bring up that damn gif from South Park. I'll kick your butt. Because they work for the company, the Jonas Brothers did at the time. So that's what I said.
So there we go. That is our list. What do you guys think? Let us know. Leave your comments as you have been. If you have anything else you would like to discuss, super chat. It is as simple as that. In the meantime, I think it is time to begin our shills.
It is the time of day where we do our shills. They're shameless, but they're fun. I don't know why I'm singing, but it's okay.
The pre-Meach's Musings shills, which is also the shill show.
Yes. This is the pre-shill before the shill that gets into all the shills of the week.
Emmanuel, since you came in late, number 10 was Tommy Dreamer, brother.
Bam. Bam. It's been in my head all night, by the way. When he first said it last night, I got Man in the Box, but now it's been rotating in my head all day, along with the Limp Bizkit song.
I am the man in the box.
Bow, 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 bow. All right, Josh, tell you what, if you're broke till Friday, you better be a prolific mucker further on Saturday during open mic night. We got a guest on Saturday.
Brett, we already discussed Steen. We appreciate you tuning in when you did, but we already discussed Steen.
Sting was brought up.
So anyways, later on today,
That's a me.
Meach's Musings, what has essentially become a shill show. But of course, if you super chat, if you ask questions, I am sure the man, the myth, the legend, the West Coast professor, Jeff, MRF and Meacham will be glad to answer those live on the air.
I have a feeling I know what you guys want to talk about since we'll be on right before Raw starts. Just saying.
You know what? You ought to make that a rule that no talk of that about that, because you'll be talking about that come Talk Wrestling.
Oh, yes. Talk Wrestling is going to be a big deal this week, kids. We'll get there in a second.
Yes, we will. Of course, Monday through Thursday, you can check me out on For the Love of Wrestling, my daily recap shows. I had my weekend recap go up today at 9 a.m. discussing SmackDown, Rampage, and Collision. Or I should say SmackDown and two shows that thought they could, run opposite Survivor Series, and even go as far as to mention CM Punk on one of them and thought they'd actually do ratings, which we know they didn't. Tomorrow I'll be doing Raw, Wednesday NXT, Thursday Dynamite, and then I take Fridays off because I currently do not cover Impact, but you can find those at 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern.
Exclusively on the Casa. All right. Statboy Sports Bar will open again tomorrow at 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 Pacific. Mikey seems to think it's going to be a short show because we have a short topic list, which would be beneficial considering... Oh, it was such a good transition.
I know, but I was at the comments. That's the thing. I have to do both.
I'm sorry.
That at 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern, A Simple Take will be doing a huge double feature. We will be giving our final thoughts on AEW Full Gear live from the fabulous Forum in Los Angeles, California. And of course, Survivor Series that featured the return of the Second City Saint, much to Josh's chagrin.
The Greg Cherry Show will be back this week, much to Josh's delight. He'll be allowed to watch because he passed his test. Wednesday, 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 Pacific. Feature, yeah, I know, poor Josh. It's not poor JJ.
JJ.
I can't read, I can't see it. Poor JJ. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm sorry. 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 Pacific for both the Greg Cherry Show this week and live from downtown Disney District in Anaheim, California. Talk Wrestling will be live across the entirety of the multiverse and ODQ.com with whatever thoughts I feel like putting out there, whatever feel guys okay, we'll try that one more time. Whatever you guys feel like super chatting about, because I'll be at Disney and no corporate restrictions on me at Disney. So you guys ask whatever you want, you super chat it, I will answer it. And with any luck, it'll be snowing.
And then coming Saturday, a very special episode of Open Mic Night. One that I am really looking forward for. It is not karaoke. It is not game show.
No.
It will be, however, the second guest that we have brought onto Open Mic Night. The first since our rebranding premiere, I guess you could call it, with Jesse Gavin.
Yes.
This Saturday on Open Mic Night, Gino Told You So, Gino Rivera, Seville the Thrill Alvarez, whatever you know him as from your local federation, will be on the air with us Time TBD, as he is
Sure.
either going to pop in prior to his match or after his match that day. But Gino Rivera, Gino Told You So, a bit of a journeyman here in the modern age. He bounces around from state to state, working for a number of different promotions. So it's very possible he has come to a local fed near you, wrestled some of your favorites before. He has been seen on WWE programming in backstage segments and extra work. He was on AEW Dark Elevation in a match against Big Bill prior to that show being pulled. He has wrestled the likes of Mick Foley, Mark Henry, James Ellsworth, Chris Bay, Darby Allin, amongst others. Look him up on YouTube. He will be giving us as much time as he can this Saturday, December 2nd, on Open Mic Night.
That's going to be one of the easiest shows you and I do, brother. We can just lay back and let the panel do their thing. I love it.
What won't be easy is this, Chibas.
That's just this month. That's just in December alone. We still got a Die Tour kicks off early.
Right? I mean, and back-to-back days. We are going to be calling 3 shows in 2 days.
Bullshit.
Tribute to the Troops, Friday,
Yeah.
December 8th. NXT Deadline, Impact Final Resolution, which, yes, we understand both those shows will be running concurrently. So we will be mentioning this multiple times. No spoilers, please. We are doing them back to back the way we are doing them. That way I can give my full response and reaction at home before my woman goes to bed. And then we will go to do Final Resolution with Noah and Dattila. And I think we're going to do Open Mic Night on Sunday that week. Like
that is
brunch
correct.
edition. I think
Yes.
we discussed doing like a Open Mic Night brunch that
Something
Sunday.
like that. Yeah.
That way it doesn't run too late for work and school nights.
Right.
But we still get our shit in on the road to 100.
Yes. We will definitely be done prior to the No DQ review that day. So
Final Battle, December 15th, again on a Friday. And then wrapping up the month with AEW World's End. There will be no Open Mic Night that Saturday immediately following World's End. We will be doing it on New Year's Eve. On Sunday, our 100th episode. Countdown Coast to Coast 2023 highlight reels, kicking off the 4th year of the Jeff Meacham Network.
I got year 5.
Is it year 5?
Yeah, celebrating year 4.
4th anniversary, so
no, yeah,
it would sound like it's going to be year 4.
Well, it's the end of the 4th going to the 5th. I didn't know how to label it. My brain didn't do that. So, because you remember the first anniversary we did, it was celebrating the 1st anniversary. It was the end of year 1. Either way, it's an anniversary. It's all the shows. It's the anniversary show. It's the end of the year show. It's another episode of Bike Night. We are doing all the things.
Look at Arlene. Can we get Noah to sing us into the new year?
You know what?
I will talk to him about that.
You know what we should do? And this is going to really show my age and my nerd here. One of my favorite renditions, I forget who it was on the sax, but one of my favorite renditions of All Lang Syne is on the sax. We should have Aaron take his lessons. Kenny G, thank you. You should have Aaron take his lessons, have Aaron play it, and Noah sing it at midnight on the East Coast, because they're both in the East Coast. That's what we should do, by God.
That would be awesome. And then just have James clip it, and we can run it for each hour.
Yes. Josh, you should have stepped into the plate faster. Well, snooze, you lose there, Mansfield. But we'll see. Maybe if you're a good little soldier the next month, we'll let you sing too.
But do not fret, Arlene. I am sure part of the highlight reels will be karaoke nights and Noah singing, so you will get that as well.
Yeah. Oh wait, no, we don't have to copy this room, but yeah, slow jams, baby, coming up. What? What the fuck did you say?
He's complaining that we're not responding to his super chats
Or his comments.
because he's not a girl and too poor to super chat. And it's like, I had the ticker going where we are going to,
breeze through these. Yeah.
We'll put your comments across the screen. However, if you put a super chat, it will get our attention.
Drew's not a regular viewer. I'll have to clue him in when I talk to him next. He's not a regular viewer, unfortunately. He's a fan of the friend, but he's not a regular viewer just because he's usually not online during our shows because we're always on later. Yes, he will, Gnarly. Noah loves you. Noah loves everybody, by God.
And
he's the best babyface of all time.
Right. Speaking of karaoke and singing,
woohoo!
We will be doing our Eve of Christmas Eve special on December 23rd, 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 Eastern, standard open mic night festivities. That should be a fun one.
Oh, man.
I have the wheel loaded up a little bit different from last year.
Oh.
Last year, if you remember, I had songs on the wheel that were all public domain.
True that.
Since we've been doing karaoke's more frequently, and we know we can get away with singing standard songs because it's performance,
it's parody. There's no licensed music. Yeah, exactly.
There's no licensed music. It's just a cappella.
Yeah, there you go. A cappella. That's the word I'm looking for.
I have kind of the way I have my music broken up into folders on my computer. I've got classic Christmas. I've got modern Christmas. I've got country Christmas. I've got like fun Christmas, which is like the kids stuff. All I want for Christmas is my two front teeth, the Chipmunk song. And then I've got like Last Christmas, All I Want for Christmas Is You. Those cursed songs that people can't just get out of their heads and cannot get away from. It's going to be interesting the way the wheel plays out this year.
And I'm telling you right now, if anybody super chats for Last Christmas and I hear the song before the morning of the 25th, I'm going to kill a bitch. I swear to God, I will stand on Lamb Hell as long as I possibly can. Freaking company. God damn it, Drew. Anyway. What's cool about that song is, though, we can do Max's song for wrestling karaoke because there's that version by these wolves. I'm better than better. So there you go.
Arlene,
I will do that one in March.
Hula hoop.
Who can hardly stand? See, I can even do like the Chipmunks acapella. There you go. Shit.
That's awesome.
Years of practice, kids. Years of practice. Ruining my mother's life every year. Tra-la-la. Nobody gets it still, and it's okay.
And then the next time you will see the dads on the air, it'll be the top 10 Christmas songs that aren't about Christmas.
That's an oxymoron show, ladies and gentlemen.
December 11th.
Yes.
Now, what are Christmas songs that aren't about Christmas? Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
Let it snow.
You tell me where in that song it talks about Christmas or Santa Claus or the birth of Christ.
That's true.
It's a cold day outside and it's snowing.
Yep.
But it's a Christmas song somehow. Songs like that.
Frosty the Snowman.
Jingle bells.
Yeah, there's no mention of the word Christmas in that song. That's true.
Yeah.
I think about that for a second.
Mm-hmm. So those are the songs that are going to be on that list.
Yeah. we need to Emmanuel's comment. That's actually not accurate. And I'll tell you why. Based on the first verse. Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, winter songs, but they're not all they're gonna be themed around the Christmas. Yeah, I can. You know what? Bad Josh. I'll do that with my damn show. Manuel, Grandma got run over by a reindeer walking home from our house Christmas Eve. Nope.
You can say there's no such thing
as Santa. Christmas.
As for me
and Grandpa, we believe. Yeah, the first verse. Nope. Disqualified. But thank you for playing. However, that song may come up on our Christmas Day episode of Dads,
where we discuss the top 10 Christmas songs about Santa Claus. We will not be live that day.
Yep.
It will be a canned show.
Yes.
You guys can watch at your discretion. Hell, we'll probably have it premiere at midnight.
Yeah,
that way, for those of you that haven't gone to bed yet, can watch it before you go to bed. Or you can come back to it and watch it once your Christmas Day festivities are done with for the day.
If
we
if
will
they
be
want
doing the top 10 Christmas songs, about Santa Claus.
I mean, if they want to stay up and have Santa not come to their house, that's their decision, right? I mean, they won't prevent Santa from landing. That's their bad. Shame on them. Shame on them for doing that.
And then in addition to that, on Christmas Day, you will be getting a present from the members only section of the Casa D18 Studios channel.
Ooh.
As Noah and I call not one, not two, but all 3 matches in the trilogy between the Nature Boy Ric Flair and the #1 babyface of all time, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
I love it.
Merry Christmas to all the subscribers. So if you want to hear Noah and I call these matches, you need to make sure you subscribe to the Casa D18 Studios channel. It's only $5 a month.
I'll tell you what. Underrated wrestling theme songs we've done. I don't know if I did this one in the past. Ricky Steamboat's WCW theme when he came back in like 91, 92. That's good shit, pal. Look it up on YouTube, folks. Bless you, I think. But you know what, Josh? If you're going to be awake anyway, go ahead and watch us, if you dare.
Matthew, please do not post the result in here.
Yeah, nope.
Save it for Meach's Musings. Save it for Talk Wrestling. We'll save it for Open Mic Night. Please do not post it in here.
I will definitely talk about it today, if not Thursday, for sure.
I am about to wrap us up and get us off the air, so
I want to go eat lunch.
Yeah, and it's been far too positive of a show. We don't need to end it on negativity.
Yes.
So, again, let us know what you guys thought about our list. Leave your comments down here since we're about to go off the air, so you can no longer leave them next to Jeff.
That's fair. You can try.
Make sure you tune in later on this afternoon for Meach's Musings.
Yes, I'll be there. 4:00.
And until then, for the West Coast Professor Jeff Meacham, I am the Renegade of Wrestling, JJ Williams. Thank you all for tuning in today for the Dads Not Always on Wrestling Top 10 Babyfaces of All Time. And we will catch you later.
Good night. The Jeff Meacham Network's Multiverse of Media. For over 15 years, the recognized symbol of excellence and the standard bearer in coverage of sports and entertainment.